Hello and welcome. I'm Professor Khalid Khan from University of Granada in Spain. Today we will talk about the future of health research publication, and with it we will raise the possibility of publication without risk of rejection for honest, trustworthy authors. Now, this may sound odd or unrealistic, but in fact I strongly believe, based on evidence that I will show you, that the direction forward is towards availability of trustworthy research immediately on its publication to the readers, and that publication will occur, hopefully, with the risk of rejection be reduced nearly to zero, and that authors will not face any delays in the process of getting their work out there following its submission. Let's see how we can get there. But first, what I'm going to present builds on what I have already published concerning responsible research publication in these two books of mine that you see on the screen. The journals that face the need for change as a challenge are these ones that are the traditional journals, and they are in a state of spin at the moment because there are already examples of successful journals, even those without impact factors, who have credibility and who are able to provide responsibly and rapidly open access publication to trustworthy and honest authors. So let's see how this is feasible. The the trigger for this vlog came from this very recent article in the Nature, where authors, as you can see, are complaining about large delays. And I will explain to you the reason why these delays occur and why they are unfair. And another related news concerning the dropping of a journal called eLife from the list of those who are given an impact factor. So let's begin with this news first. Well, what is eLife? It is a open access journal which publishes biology, genetics, many other subjects, including medicine. And the journal Impact Factor has announced that it will no longer include eLife in the upcoming list. Yet the journal continues to enjoy support of funders and academic institutions. So is this showing us a direction forward towards a future free of impact factor? We will have a look. But what is special about eLife? It combines the power of preprints with peer review. So preprints accepted are updated as a result of peer review. No papers that pass an initial assessment need to be rejected. This truly raises the possibility of there being scientific publication without impact factors and without delays in the coming years. To understand how we are moving towards this direction, let's see what traditional science communication looks like. We have journal with a title and its index of articles, and the articles look like this. The articles may contain scientific data or they may not, and they are communications either from practitioners to scientists or from scientists to practitioners. And we're going to explain now how this publication process controls the direction of communication from the authors to the readers. So a journal, typically its owners appoint a chief editor who then appoint an editorial board and editors. And this journal, which I edited as chief editor several years, had, as you can see, a large number of editors and an editorial board. And these guys together, using the guidance available from various organizations like COPE, WAMI, and ICMJE, create a strategy. This strategy is implemented as papers are received and through a single blind peer review and editorial process, which more or less is a black box for authors who cannot see what's happening to the material they have submitted, undergoes through assessment, and a large proportion, very large proportion, even a proportion as high as 90% in some journals, is rejected. That accepted within this black box then goes into the content of the journal and appears as published papers. There are, of course, very large number of journals. According to the 2021 STM report, there are probably around 16,000 biomedical journals. So rejected authors then go through the cycle of resubmission, possible rejection, further resubmission, leading to delays in appearance of their scientific work as published articles. So this, I believe, belongs to the previous century. Certainly, the post-COVID era has led to a change that points towards the future. So this change is accompanied by what we call open access publication. Open access publication comes in two forms. Well, more than two forms, but I describe two for you here. One is called the gold open access, where the version of record becomes immediately available to readers on its publication. In an alternative approach, we have preprints. Preprints are the scientific articles in their version that is submitted to a journal, where the journal and editorial process has not given input to produce the version that is made available to reader. So this version, when made available, for example, by posting on a preprint server, can make the scientific work immediately available. So in the green open access version, authors have permission to self-archive their submitted material on a repository, or at the same time as they submit the article to a journal. And the the version of the article that has editorial and peer review input can then be published, but there is in an open access format, but there is an embargo of around 12 to 24 months, during which time the version called the version of record is behind the subscription paywall or under the control of the publisher. And if you want to look at where the open access journals exist, here is one of the search engines where you can identify how you can get to these open access journals. So what will the new version look like? Well, first we got to understand that by the time the author submits the paper for assessment by a journal, they have already gone through the process of designing their study, conducting their study. Their hope is that through publication, they will get to make their material available for use in a pipeline that will ultimately lead to improvement and implementation in the healthcare system. Any delay that is caused through the publication process is ultimately a delay in the benefit that can be obtained by patients in the healthcare system. So these delays are undesirable, especially when the research conducted has been peer reviewed at its funding stage and its ethical committee approval stage. So, what additional benefit will now be gained by the editorial and peer review assessment process when the work has been undertaken in a manner that is robustly designed and conducted? For this type of research, certainly the current publication model with its peer review and editorial black box is entirely unsuitable. The submitted work should immediately be made available as a preprint. This preprint can then be peer reviewed in an open form, not a single blind form. The peer reviewers can be appointed by the journals, and these peer review reports should be made publicly available. Equally, at the same time, readers not appointed by the journals can also provide their own review comments, and these are in the literature called pre-reviews. The authors then have the opportunity to revise their preprint in light of the comments received from the officially appointed peer reviewers and the scientists who access the preprints outside the official appointment system. And they can then revise their preprint, obtain approval of the revised preprints, and update their preprints. Through this process, the rejection and resubmission cycle that causes delays in the publication process is entirely eliminated. And the published version can then, at the time of evidence grading and guideline making, be reviewed again, something that is called post-publication peer review. And yet again, there is an opportunity for authors to revise and update their preprint. This way, the version of record starts as a preprint and continues to be updated with every version available on its update. This model, apart from eLife, has also been implemented in another journal called F1000 Research. And here I write and present my own experience through the publication of one of my articles over there that you see on the screen. And this approach includes article submission combined with data sharing. This is an important feature of openness in publication. And after preliminary checks, the preprint is made available at the same time when it is submitted for peer review. The official peer review, once back, is posted in an open form, so the author and peer reviewer, in fact, are collaborating in the improvement of the version of the preprint first published. And then this updated version or revised version can then be made publicly available in its next version. So here we see that as life exists, it is possible to go through a process of publication without delay, which combines the power of preprint with peer review and update of the preprint as a form of continuous update of the version of record. So in summary, bringing this vlog to close, there is certainly a future for impactful science publication without impact factors, as we see in the example of the news concerning the journal eLife. There is certainly, through the process of open peer review and open peer review of a version where there is open identity of the peer reviewer, complete possibility of elimination of the single blind black box peer review of the traditional system of publication. And in this new system, there is a possibility to eliminate the role of journals whereby it is causing unnecessary rejections and unnecessary delays. And I look forward to very rapid progression towards this future where authors have the possibility to transmit their findings immediately on preparation of their manuscripts and completion of research for use by society. Thank you very much for listening.